Muy bien, pues aquí estamos en el booth de Gibson, estamos con Jim Dicola, el Master Luthier de Gibson, que nos va a contar las novedades de Gibson para este año 2020. Hi Jim, nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you as well. Thanks for visiting Gibson.
You're welcome. Can you tell us the news you have for this year?
Absolutely. Here we're looking at the Les Paul Special Tribute models. This is new for this year. So we have two different models, one with humbucking pickups and one with P90s. And other than that, they're the identical guitars, so they have slab mahogany bodies, maple necks, rosewood fingerboards, and our classic 2-volume and 2-tone control array with the 3-position toggle switch. We also have a compensated wraparound bridge that the specials are known for. The historic version, like we have in our original series line, is non-compensated because that's what we made at that era in the 50s. On this model, we decided to use compensation, so it has improved intonation, yet it still has that solid wraparound tone. So, and also all these satin finishes are available in ebony satin, a vintage cherry satin, satin natural, and worn white satin. So they're all very, striking colors, and at the same time, the satin neck just feels really good. Because it's satin, it has just a drier, faster feel. And also you can see, the maple neck. Maple is a very good tone wood, and it helps us achieve the price point, on this particular guitar. So it's very affordably priced, very rock solid, and made entirely in Nashville. After that, I can run you through the ES models. Okay, this past year, we moved our ES model line from Memphis, where we're building them since 2004, back to Nashville. It just made good sense to keep everything consolidated in one plant. So now they're all made in Nashville. The line starts out with the ES 335 Satin. We decided to condense the model line. It was getting kind of scattered over the past couple years, so we condensed it, and that'll allow us to focus on the quality and get them up and running, in the new facility. We retooled a lot of the areas where we had to retool for construction, but we still have the historic presses for the tops and rims and so forth.
What kind of improvements have you introduced to guitars?
On the ES 335s, we did, let me think that through. Are you talking about construction improvements or feature improvement? Okay. So in the move from Memphis to Nashville, we had certain areas that we decided to improve, like certain fixtures and forms for the assembly process we retooled, and that allowed us to have cleaner operations, when we're gluing the rims to the cores and so forth. Also, when we're pressing the cores to the rims, we retooled that. So that was very extensive. But what we kept consistent were the presses. The presses are the original presses we've always used since we were making the ES thin line guitars ever since the late 50s. So that's very historic, and we wanted to keep that intact. And the line starts out on the ES 335 Satin. So it's a classic ES 335 just in the satin finish, so it's more affordable, and again, the satin finish feels really nice on the neck, a little quicker feel. That's available in the 60s Cherry, the Vintage Burst, and the Antique Natural. Then we go into the gloss versions, and the gloss versions are available in the Sunburst, the Ebony, and the 60s Cherry. And I should also add the pickups are the T-type pickups in all the 335 models. And the T-type pickups are wound to the same specs that our T-top pickups were, which were an era of Gibson humbucking pickups from the mid-60s until the 70s. They were called T-tops because they had an embossed T in the top of the pickup coils. So instead of retooling just for that small feature, we are making them to that same spec, but calling them T-types instead of T-tops. So they have, you know, the polywire, 5,000 turns per coil, and Alnico 5 magnets, and done up to that sound. And because they're a moderate output pickup, you know, moderate output PAF voice, they're perfectly suited for the ES style guitars. Now, it was just a good match for that model. So from the gloss versions of the ES335, then we also step up and offer the figured maple version. The figured maple is just very striking, and then in addition to the figured maple, we also upgrade to the small block inlays. So same performance, sound, and features, just an aesthetic upgrade on that. Next, we go to the 345. The 345 now has upgraded aesthetic features such as the split parallelogram inlays and the multiply binding. Historically, the 345 would also have that Veritone switch, but we've had a lot of people over the years, you know, who modified their own guitars and didn't really use that. So we decided not to offer it on this model. And, you know, it keeps it in a good price point, and it makes it a bit more stage ready for the average player. From there, we go to the 339.
What's up, everybody? My name is Ricky
And
from the
I can get one of those.
It's in Loudwire's Gear Factor.
So typically,
We're sitting with Mr. Frank Hannon, Mr. Dave Rude from the mighty Tesla.
The 339 is offered in the figured top, as we see here, or figured maple all around with the mahogany neck, and then also in plain maple. Both of them have 57 classic pickups. They were just more suited to this guitar. You know, it's a smaller body. People are typically using it for, you know, a little more higher gain application than you would on a traditional 335. So they worked out perfect, and they're still a smooth vintage PAF voice, classic set of pickups. And then, you know, in addition to the figured top, we also did the small block inlays on the figured top version of the 339 as well. So classic 335 style performance in a smaller downsized package. And that would be it for the 339 and the ES model lines.
Was the format for music was FM radio.
And then after this, then we have the Slash models.
Ok.
Okay?
Vamos a ver los modelos signature de Slash.
When I heard Freebird the first time, I was in the car and my stepdad had a 57 Chevy
by that
with a
display
Pioneer
there.
Super
Yeah.
Tuner. You remember those? I don't know.
A little bit before my time, but I've seen pictures.
But then what changed my life was live albums. You know, the 70s were an era with the best live albums. Foghat Live, Frampton Comes Alive. That really turned me on to wanting to do this. Was hearing that audience and hearing the electric guitar.
Ok.
Here we have the new Slash collection. We've done many limited models for Slash over the years, and they've always sold very well. In fact, every time we offer them, they're pre-sold out. You know, as soon as we announce it, they're gone. So we decided to offer them into the core line. So here we're looking at the November Burst finish, which is a particular shade of, you know, based off of Tobacco Sunburst. All the models are offered with a 3A figured top, and then newly designed Gibson-made Slash signature Slash Bucker pickups. So there are Slash's take on the Burst Bucker. They're our highest output Burst Bucker pickup. They have Alnico 2 magnets and wound to his specifications, and he tested them extensively over the course of this past year. It has the full round 50s neck that Slash prefers, rosewood fingerboard, of course, and his signature on the truss rod cover, in addition to his logo on the back of the headstock. And we also enclose a blank truss rod cover in case someone just wants to make it look more historic. But in addition to the November Burst, we also have Anaconda Burst, a Vermilion Burst, and Appetite Burst. They all have the same features, except some of the pickups and plastics then will change to color coordinate. So the Appetite Burst, for instance, has the zebra coil pickups, and then different knobs. You know, on the November Burst, we'll have the Age top hats. Anaconda and Vermilion will have the black.
And for the first time, you've made also an acoustic guitar.
That's right. We're very excited about that. Let me set this down here. We're very excited. You know, here we have the Slash J45. So it's J45 pattern to his specifications. One important, we have the colors, you know, Anaconda Burst and November Burst. Besides the colors, another interesting change is he wanted a flatter fingerboard radius for his style of acoustic. You know, it also has his signature neck profile, and with the flatter 16-inch radius fingerboard, it allows him to bend. You know, he does a lot of bending on acoustic stuff, and it's just really suited for that style. So he just did a lot of testing over the course of the year, and that was his take on the J45. So we're very excited to offer that now in our model line. And that would be it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks for visiting, and we appreciate you
Thanks for your
highlighting
time.
our new guitars.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Any question or something?
No, it's been a pleasure.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
We really appreciate it.